Suspecting that my glow was that of a freshly sharpened blade, Elijah wore his Italian tailor-made navy blue suit, the one he wore for the most important occasions, the silk tie I had given him for our 30th anniversary. His gold cufflinks, his father's inheritance, sparkled when he moved his hands to greet guests. He had gone to the barber that afternoon, his silver hair perfectly trimmed, his beard neatly sculpted. He looked exactly what he pretended to be, a successful man celebrating a life of love and fidelity. "You are absolutely spectacular," he whispered, helping me with my chair at the head table. His hand brushed my bare shoulder, an intimate gesture for the public. "I can't believe you still take my breath away after all these years. You are the most beautiful woman in the room. And you, the biggest liar," I thought. But my smile was perfect, trained over weeks of practice in front of the mirror. "You're not so bad yourself, my love," I replied, the term of endearment burning my tongue like acid. The 50 guests were a careful selection from our life. Elijah's business partners, who needed to witness his downfall, society friends who would spread the scandal like wildfire, and family who deserved to know the truth. They were strategically placed, Jamal and his wife Elena, near the improvised stage, ready to intervene. Amara and her fiancé David at a table with a perfect view of the projection screen. Patricia strategically located near the exit in case Elijah tried to run. Dinner began with oysters, which Elijah detested, but had ordered because he knew they were my favorite. Another public gesture of devotion. Conversations flowed with the French champagne, Dom Pérignon, from the year of our wedding, a detail that had cost a fortune and which Elijah had boasted about at least 3 times. "Elijah has always been the perfect husband," commented Brenda Jenkins, the wife of Elijah's main partner, as she savored her lobster. "Simone, you are so fortunate." "You have no idea," I replied, my smile unwavering. Elijah, sitting next to me, squeezed my hand under the table, a gesture others interpreted as love, but which I recognized as ownership. At 9:30, as the Belgian chocolate desserts were served, Elijah stood up, gently tapping his glass with a knife. The quartet stopped playing. Conversation ceased, and all eyes turned to him. "Dear friends, family," he began, his voice rich and deep, the voice he had used to seduce me 4 decades ago. 40 years ago, in a small bookstore downtown, I met a woman who would change my life. Simone became not only my wife, but my best friend, my confidant, my partner in every adventure. I watched as some women discreetly dabbed tears. Brenda sighed romantically. The men nodded approvingly. It was a masterful performance. "These years haven't always been easy," Elijah continued, his voice trembling with feigned or perhaps perversely real emotion. "We've faced loss, challenges, moments of doubt, but Simone, my Simone, has been my anchor, my safe harbor in every storm, the light that guides me home every night." The irony was so bitter that I had to take a sip of water to avoid choking. Every night he was supposedly guided home. He chose another direction, another home, another woman. That's why Elijah pulled a blue velvet box from his pocket. "I want to renew my vows, right here in front of all of you." He opened the box, revealing an eternity diamond band. "Simone, will you do me the honor of continuing to be my wife for another 40 years? Applause erupted. Someone shouted, "Bravo!" Phone cameras flashed. It was the perfect moment, the romantic climax of the evening. I stood up slowly, accepting his kiss before the ovation, the ring heavy and cold on my finger. "My turn," I announced as the applause died down, my voice clear as the crystal I was about to shatter. 40 years is a long time. Time enough to know every secret, every truth, every lie about a person, or so one would think. Elijah smiled, his hand still on my waist, utterly oblivious to the chasm opening beneath his feet. "I've prepared something very special for tonight," I continued, pulling my phone from my purse. Jamal had already connected the restaurant's audio and projection system to my device, an arrangement that had cost a generous tip to the technical staff. A gift not just for my husband, but for all of you, because Ruby anniversaries, dear friends, require absolute transparency like the purest crystal. I pressed play. Elijah's voice filled the room, clear and unmistakable. Candace, my love, I'm heading home now. Yeah, I know Jalen has his game tomorrow at 8. Don't worry. I told Simone I have a conference all weekend. She never suspects a thing. Trust me, after so many years, she's blindly trusting. It's almost pathetic how easy it is. The silence that followed was absolute, the kind of silence that precedes an explosion. Elijah's champagne glass fell from his hand, shattering against the marble floor into 1,000 pieces that reflected the light like crystal tears. That's not, he started, his face going from tan to white to grey in seconds. Oh, but wait, I interrupted. My voice was now sharp as the broken glass at his feet. There's so much more. The screen came to life with the photographs I had meticulously prepared. Elijah and Candace at their beach wedding. Him in a white linen suit I had never seen. The birth certificate for Jalen Vance with Marcus Stanton listed as the father. Christmas family photos from the last 10 years. Elijah smiling with his other family in front of a tree I had never decorated. Sky's ultrasound with a dedication to the best dad in the world. Love, Candace. Gasps started like waves, each revelation provoking a new round of shock. Brenda Jenkins had gone pale, her hand covering her mouth. Elijah's partner, Devon Harris, stared at the images with a mixture of horror and fury, probably calculating the damage to the firm's reputation. Patricia buried her face in her hands, sobbing silently. 40 years, I said, walking slowly around Elijah, who remained frozen like a statue. 40 years living with a bigamist, a pathological liar, a criminal. Yes, dear friends, a criminal. Bigamy is a felony punishable by prison time. Simone, please. Elijah finally found his voice, stepping toward me with outstretched hands. We can talk about this privately. Don't do this. Jamal stood up, interposing himself between his father and me. Don't come near my mother. His voice was lethal, controlled. And before you consider running, you should know that the IRS already has copies of all your financial statements, including that Cayman's account where you hid $5 million. The prosecutor has the fraudulent contracts you signed, using your fake identity. Amara took the microphone the quartet had abandoned. To our dear guests, I deeply regret that you are witnessing this. But after 40 years of public deception, we felt the truth also needed to be public. My father not only betrayed my mother, he betrayed us all. This is insane. Elijah spun around looking for support among the guests, but they were all backing away as if he were contagious. Devon, you've known me for 20 years. You know I wouldn't. Wouldn't what? Devon, his best friend, stood up, his face a mask of disgust. That you aren't capable of this? Apparently, I didn't know you at all. I pulled the envelope from my purse. The divorce papers Jamal had prepared. You have two choices, Elijah. Sign these documents now, relinquishing all claims to our communal assets. Or this goes to a public trial, and you end up in federal prison for bigamy, tax fraud, and document forgery. Patricia stood up then, her voice trembling but firm. Elijah, you should also know that I found Dad's real will. The one you forged is with the authorities. Mom always knew something wasn't right with you. It was the final blow. Elijah slumped into the chair, the powerful man reduced to rubble. With trembling hands, he took the pen I offered him. As he signed, tears fell onto the documents, staining his name, his final surrender. The events following the anniversary dinner unfolded like perfectly aligned dominoes, each one toppling the next with devastating precision. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the balcony of the hotel suite where I had taken refuge, watching the city lights flicker, while my phone vibrated incessantly with calls and messages I wouldn't answer. The red dress still clung to my body like battle armor, the smeared makeup tracing maps of pain on my face. At 6:01 in the morning, Jamal arrived with coffee and his laptop. The divorce papers are processed. Dad signed them last night. We have witnesses. It's irrevocable. We also froze the joint accounts an hour ago. His efficiency was ruthless, the lawyer taking control where the son might have faltered. At 7 in the morning, Amara arrived with her crisis public relations team. 3 young women with tablets and determined expressions who transformed my suite into a command center. The press embargo lifts in 2 hours, Amara announced, her professionalism barely hiding the fury burning underneath. We have exclusives with 3 major newspapers and 2 national television channels. The hashtag is already trending. By noon, the entire country knew who Elijah Vance really was. At exactly 9 in the morning, the story exploded. Prominent businessman, living double life, bigamy, fraud, and 12 years of deception. Headlines screamed from every screen. The bigamist of the year became a worldwide trend in minutes. The photos I had provided, Elijah with both families, went viral. Cruel but creative memes flourished like mushrooms after the rain. The hotel phone rang. It was the front desk. Mrs. Vance, there are reporters in the lobby requesting statements. Tell them my lawyer will give a press conference at 2 in the afternoon, I replied, my voice surprisingly firm. By 11 in the morning, Elijah's company had issued a statement. Effective immediately, Elijah Vance has been suspended from all duties, pending an internal investigation into severe ethical violations and possible corporate fraud. Devin Harris, his partner, was more direct in his interview. We are fully cooperating with the authorities. If the allegations are true, Elijah Vance not only betrayed his family, but also the trust of his partners, employees, and clients. At 3:47 p.m., my phone rang from an unknown number. It was Candace. Her voice sounded like shattered glass, every word fragmented and cutting. Is it true? She asked without preamble. You are Simone Vance, his first and only legal wife, I replied, keeping my voice neutral. No cruelty, but no comfort. I never died, Candace. He killed me metaphorically so he could have you. I'm sorry. You are a victim in this too. The children. Her voice broke into a sob. My God, the children. Jalen adored his father. The baby. What do I tell them? How do I explain that their entire life is a lie? I don't know, I admitted, because there were no words of comfort that could heal those wounds. But children are resilient. With help, with therapy, with real love, they will heal. Did you know about us? She asked. How long did you know? 2 months, I answered. 2 months of truth. After 40 years of lies. I'm going to lose everything, she whispered. The house is in his name, the accounts, everything. I